right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NOK, Nokia. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want to announce that I have a new ticker symbol to share with you guys towards the end of this video. You definitely want to stay tuned till the end because it's a ticker symbol that focuses on a niche within the EV sector. A lot of potential there, and especially with the market share that they have for that specific niche in the EV sector. So stay tuned for that towards the end of this video. So Nokia had a run, hit highs here of about $8 and some change. We definitely would like to see those numbers again, I bet, but it's going to take some time, right? Until things start to cool off. A lot of restrictions are still on different platforms on how many you can buy, how many you can go ahead and place orders on for this one. So this is kind of holding down, obviously, the ticker symbol overall. Now, I stated in my previous video that as things cool off even more, we might see it get close back down to these numbers here where it was at before the anticipation of the run, the slight pullback, leveling off, and then actually going all the way up to those highs. So could it end up back down to these numbers? It's possible, but something I'm noticing here is that it's holding itself up pretty well in the sideways movement. Now, beyond all this volatility and reasons behind the volatility, and then also the slight, restrictions on different platforms, this ticker symbol has potential within the 5G sector overall. I do want every single investor to be aware of that. This isn't like, a penny stock that, you threw your money in somewhere in it and you're just gambling it. Like, this is actually a company that if you pay close attention to it and you've been watching 5G, there's a lot of potential for the company moving forward. But also, this is giving it a bad name now because it just jumps up and it just comes right back down. But a lot of investors are watching this one carefully for the long term. So let's go ahead and see here what the lows are that we really want to watch. So the lowest point is 453. I want every single investor to write that down. And one of the highest points in this sideways movement is 522. Even though today's resistance levels and support are a lot closer, I believe these are the two most important points. 522, right? And down here at the lowest point as a support, 453. As we get closer to 522, right? The next resistance level right now, based off of today's chart, is 499, which is basically $5. And the lowest point, which is our support, is down here at 465. I want every single investor to pay close attention to those two numbers in the near term and also in the longer term, these two numbers to see how it's reacting. Now, the 50-day moving average is 484. It's at 492. We're slightly above it in bullish territory. If it falls below it, we'll end up in bearish territory. So I want every single investor to pay close attention to how this stock's reacting moving forward, and keep in mind that this is a stock with potential because of 5G. But that's the only thing going for it right now. I mean, the company is pretty small compared to what it once was, and Nokia doesn't have such a large market share out there when it comes to, their products, and their revenue and so forth is not, anything wild out of the ordinary. But we do want to keep in mind, you see how their net income is actually in the bad. That's not a good sign, and that was for 2019, 2018, 17, and when we go quarterly, they just started making that income, this last year. So things have been changing around for Nokia, and that's where the potential is for the 5G, but I want every single investor to be aware that this is not as strong as it once was, and also, like every single investment, it pertains to risk, and this was some wild volatility that I don't think we'll see anytime soon. And if we do, that's why these restrictions are put on to tame it as quick as possible. Because now, all eyes are on these stocks, and most stocks that are probably within the same position that Nokia was in, GameStop was in, AMC was in. You know, it's the vigilance is getting a lot more aggressive. But I hope that with these cues and points of reference, you guys are ready and prepared for tomorrow's trading day. And as always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share it with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Stay tuned till the end because I have a new ticker symbol you won't want to miss. So for everyone that has stayed to this point, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is definitely one you want to do more research on and you want to watch carefully. Now, it's in the EV sector and it focuses on a specific niche. And I've been watching it for a few days, and an article came out on Friday that gave me even more of a confirmation why this one's going to have potential in the long term. I'm not too quite sure how we need to play it out in the short term because it is kind of hyperinflated in a little bit, and it was going downwards and it just bounced back up, and I definitely want to recommend to every single investor, watch it carefully. So the ticker symbol is ACTC, ArcLight Clean Transition Corp. So here we are with how it reacted when the merger was announced. It went from $12 all the way up to $31. It started to pull back, and this pullback was looking healthy. Now it bounced right back up, and this could be the overall market reaction because the whole market had a slight jump, and it jumped $4, almost $3 and some change, $4 from the lows here. So right now it's sitting at 26.29, and I definitely recommend watching it if it breaks through 2050 and also 2015, right? 2215, excuse me. Those are the 2 points of support levels to watch carefully moving forward, and we want to see if this continues to pull downwards after this slight jump, or does it consolidate up here, and is it creating the anticipation leading towards the merger? Now, after the merger is something to watch as well. I've seen a lot of these mergers happen so far, and they actually start to have pullbacks as well afterwards. But in the long term, this is definitely a stock to keep in mind and watch carefully because they have a large market share who ACTC is going to merge with. Let's see this article here. So this is the article that came out on Friday. Yesterday I was going to do videos, and I actually was going to do videos on Friday. I've had a few hiccups, and I apologize for that to every single viewer and investor, but I'm glad that I'm still able to proceed with this information, and it's still one to definitely watch and keep in mind. So when I saw this article from Investors Place, the heading was why investors should pass on ArcLight for now. The key words here to me that stand out is should pass for now. And that's fine. You want to add it to your watch list though, and you want to keep an eye on it and see how it's reacting because this sector has potential. And this is who they're merging with, Proterra. ArcLight has agreed to merge with Proterra. Well, now that they have agreed to do that, who you should do more research on is Proterra. Now, from what I've seen, they've been around for over 10 years, and they have a large market share in the niche that they do. And what do? They are an electric bus maker. Now, if you guys have seen Arrival and how things are happening in Europe, I could see Proterra being the one in the US market. That's the one in Europe market, Arrival. I could see Proterra being the one in the US market. I'm not sure if Arrival will arrive into the US market. For as long as it doesn't, Proterra has an upward, hand on this one. So over the long term, it basically says Proterra should do very well. That's a good sign. Now it talks about, the pandemic and so forth, why it's not recommended to buy ACTC anytime soon. Now, ArcLight has agreed to merge with Proterra. So when they say this anytime soon, but they say over the long term, it should do very well. And then I see should pass for now. It makes sense that this is the time to watch it. You really want to keep it on your radar and see how it moves. And now we have time to do due diligence as investors and research to know more about Proterra. So if anybody knows more than me or anything else or wants to share any articles or even this article, if you find it, you can post a link down below in the comments so that other investors are aware. But I would definitely start with this one because just the beginning kind of throws you, the good and the bad. And then as you continue to read, it talks about the good and the bad, and all of a sudden the good outweighs the bad because it tells you all the great things of Proterra and who they are and how they're working and what they plan on doing moving forward. Now, why do I see potential in this stock moving forward? And I'm not here to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold any position in it, but I am here to enlighten you guys on adding this to your radar and keeping a close eye on it. Well, right now we are in the pre-merger, hype and stuff, and after the merger, things might cool down again, and we need to see how far down it cools down, and also what's the anticipation leading into the merger. Now, why is this a great one? Well, the fact is that electric bus makers have a lot of potential just based off of the school system. Think about that nationwide. And then public transportation system. Think about that nationwide. There's enough to go around there for them to go ahead and make these buses and receive a lot of purchases and orders over time. So I look forward to how things continue to move, and especially with legislation being passed and going greener and EV becoming more of a norm rather than a luxury or taboo, it's going to change everything about the whole sector. And the fact that this focuses on a niche within the EV sector, which is electric bus makers, and this is one of them, and they have a large market share in that niche, I could see a lot of potential for this one. So definitely one to add to your watch list. ACTC, it's going to merge with Proterra. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, let's make some money.